How are you doing today? How is everyone doing? How is everyone doing? And I know the thumbnail says it sounds like bad news, but I'm pretty sure I'm guaranteeing you all it's not so bad. And we have a lot to look forward to as Manchester United fans. So let's all take this moment to like, subscribe, and share. And let's get ready to enjoy the show as my favorite assistant and your favorite Bella says good morning.
Welcome back to Mufc Realist TV. My name is Bella. I am a presenter and hostess of this channel. Thank you for tuning in. The show is about to begin. I want you to give this video a cheeky little like and subscribe to our channel if you have not done so yet. As you must agree that I am better looking than Marc
Bloody
so
hell.
what are you waiting for? Just do it. Smash that like button now. Let's go Reds. Buckle up. Get ready to rumble.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Mandalay Bay, Las Vegas, let's get ready to rumble!
Yeah, and we're going to start out swinging with some punches today, guys. And I know you have a lot and you've been hearing a lot, and you've probably seen some other YouTube shows today that has already said, hey, this is going to be a problem. Hey, this is an excuse. Hey, this is an excuse. Well, let's get into the show. Good morning, Stephanie Griffith. Good morning, my buddy Jamie Wayne. And how is everyone doing today? And it's not morning, it's really midday, but you know how it is. Trini people, we just say whatever we like, right? So let's just get into the presentation today and we'll see how it goes, right? So let's start off here with Ten Hag. And this season, are we getting ready to see any more miracles like last season? Any more heroics that went on last season that took us from bad form to finishing third, 2 cup finals, winning a cup? You know, it's his first season and it's the second season now, and it's been a really rocky start, and we can't really explain too much of it. And everyone might be saying that we're making excuses by saying, oh, it's not his fault, it's not his fault. But when you think about it, even the club has come out to say that it's basically a troubling situation. And when you look at it, it's like 16 players injured, our entire starting defense, which our team was built on and our victories of last season was built on, is out injured. Now it may be saying and being naive to say it's a big reason why we haven't been winning games consistently, but it's also a thing to say that yes, the manager could use the players available to him, but at the same time, what's up for selection when a lot of the players that are available to him he didn't want and shouldn't even be at the club at this day? So it's just really difficult to understand what's going on right now, but at the same time, it's not all bad. I know, and I will just do all the bad news first, basically, and then later on, it will get better, as you will see. So let's go on. And John Murta says, oh, the mixed results we have achieved so far can partly be explained by the fact that 16 first-team players have been injured or unavailable for periods of time at the start of this season. This represents 2/3 of the strength and means that Erik ten Hag hasn't been able to choose his best 11 once this season. Fortunately, some injured players are starting to return, which would make a big difference. I don't know if you might agree with that, guys. Maybe you can give me your opinions in the group, in the chat, and let me know what you think, and maybe we could discuss some of it. But I'll move on to the next slide in the meantime, and we will revisit your topic. So just post them in the chat and let's interact about it, because I kind of agree with this and disagree at the same time, because managers should manage, but was our manager allowed to manage? And that's the big question, and that's, for me, is something that you cannot ignore. Everyone says you have to take things with context, but the context is, he hasn't been able to manage to his best ability. He didn't get all what he wanted. Some players were given to him. He inherited some players, and the form has just not been there for the players available to him. So is it going to get better? I certainly hope so, and I hope everyone else in the chat, good morning to you, Dark Crow, is that it's gonna get better, because it's not always bad. And Ten Hag did turn it around last season. But the biggest issue I'm thinking about right now is that just in Ajax are eyeing MUFC's assistant coach Mitchell van der Gaag as the next manager of the club. And I'm not gonna say this lightly, but he's Dutch. Ajax is the biggest club in the Netherlands. what is going to be happening with this? You know what I mean? This is interesting. And I don't think he's going to leave Ten Hag side right now, but it may be something we might have to revisit at the end of the season. Because at the end of the day, I don't think anybody would want to deter someone from achieving their best in life. So, I mean, he was only allowed to bring three of his team members with him when he came from Ajax initially. And his biggest team member is being sought after right now to rejoin his old team of staff. This is going to be crazy, guys. What do you think? And Jamie Wayne is saying, nah him out before he finishes off our squad. What do you mean, Jamie? What do you mean? Tell me what you think. Anyway, United has launched an investigation to why the players are getting injured. And that's for sure, Yali. But at the same time, it's like, what are they investigating? Is stuff that we already know? Or is there something else that they're looking at? You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we played 64 games last season. That's way too much for the squad we had. We didn't buy nearly enough, and we only got a medical doctor, right? The Arsenal doctor, as Jamie Wayne is saying. And this guy only started doing his medical work at the club like a month ago. You know what I mean? So we were going like I think it was 6 months without a head medical of staff, and that's insane. You know what I mean? And yes, I agree. You know what I mean? We got to sell and get a whole new team. But at the same time, we got to do the best with what we have. And as Stephanie might be right. You never know what's going on. You know what I mean? So let me move along, and I'll not tip too much on this topic because it's just something that's in the ether, and we are not too sure what Mitchell's decision might be and what Eric Ten Hag influence on him might be. So let's wait and see what's happening, and let's move on. And we are as we spoke about Casemiro. Casemiro is injured. He came off yesterday on the 77th minute in the game against Venezuela, where that young talent from who just recently was signed to Chelsea scored the equalizer, and he has got a really significant impact on his ankle, and we're not sure if he might be out for the next 3 weeks or if he might be able to return next week Saturday for the game against Sheffield United. So we're hoping that the ace in our midfield is back and his form comes back with him because he hasn't been in top form this season. So we got to be on understanding and realistic about the situation at the same time. And yes, he was a very dynamic impact in our season last year. But this season, I guess the run of games has caught up with him a little bit, and maybe he needs to get a little bit of a rest, So let's look on and see how this develops, and I will bring more news on this as it works further into the end of the international break as we come closer to our return against Sheffield United. And this is the next situation here that's been in the ether as the Manchester United coaching staff and Eric Ten Hag are trying to find ways to assist Onana with his poor run of form. Eric Ten Hag has also been said by some close to this club that he might be open to making a change in goal if his form doesn't improve for the next few games. So we can be sure that he's not going to be benched this Saturday or for the game against Copenhagen, but he's definitely has to improve his form or Eric Ten Hag will have to be making a serious decision. And we all know that making a decision like that is big. You can't bring in a goalkeeper for any amount of money, really. But once you bring in a goalkeeper as your number one, it's pretty difficult to put him on the bench for a backup. It sends a really, really gigantic message to the club, to the player, and even to fans. Could it mean that we wasted 50 m's on this guy? Could it be that he's just not who we thought he was? Did we do the scouting staff do proper due diligence? Was he actually Ten Hag's number one? All these questions start being asked, and like Randon Lewis is saying, we're doomed. I don't believe that. But at the same time, I'm not going to disagree with you because everyone is entitled to their opinion. And at the same time, we have to always be conscious of what the possibilities are. It's like at Manchester, it's really, really hard to be a goalkeeper. And we've seen that across the years. You know what I mean? Dark Road, no, man. I don't think Maguire is behind all the injuries since he came from Esther. Oh, man. Oh, man. Yes, and that's been something that's been talking about a lot as well, Yali Malman. It turns out West Ham has also been thinking about making a bid and a move for Maguire, but at the same time, that's good for us, I think, because the manager wanted him out anyway. So he did well in the game that he played for us, but at the same time, he's not meant to be here. And let's talk a little bit about Mick Sauce. Some people like to call him Mick Average. Some people call him Mick Sideways. Some people call him McTominay. Some people call him Mick Phenomenal. And some people call him Mick Sauce. And Mick Sauce has been reported as saying, people always say you played as striker when you were young. That's not true. I played 2 games with Warren Joyce because we didn't have a striker. Every time I score a goal, people say that. But I've never been a striker. I've always been a midfielder, a number 8. It's so funny to hear that kind of thing. And it's also kind of funny reading that because when you think about his form, it's not always that great. You know what I mean? He's really, really good in that 8 meters in the box between the 6-yard and the 20-yard. But he's not really, really that good in the midfield of the park. You know what I mean? So I don't know. What are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on what Scott McTominay had to say? What are your thoughts on the possible injury to Casemiro? What are your thoughts? The Glazers put a curse on us. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I don't know about that one. Big up RJ. Big up everyone in the room. Sack the witch doctor, RJ. I don't think we have a witch doctor, guys. I don't think we have a witch doctor. You're worried about the takeover in the last few days? Nigel, don't worry too much, man. Take the page out of Stephanie book. Fergie time. McFergie time. You know what I mean? Qatar is going to come in at the last minute and swoop. This is my belief. I also hope so. And let's move along to the next topic. And this might not be that big of an important, but it's just another step that's happening right now. Anthony's ex-girlfriend lawyer abandons the domestic abuse case against the Brazilian due to personal reasons. I'm not sure. We're not sure if it's reasons of doubt or whatever, but time and time again, as we've seen progress in this case, it seems that more and more the situation is turning in the favor of the player, and more it's looking like he's gonna emerge victorious in the situation, and all the accusations are mainly not as substantial as everyone thinks. So I'm not going to spend too much time talking about this because it's sensitive issues, and I'm just going to move along really quickly. you know. And I'd like to say that a young striking ace backs the number 10 Marcus Rashford, and our star number 11 has been reported as saying that the Marcus Rashford is a top player and he will turn it around. And I mean, I love the sentiments from our new striker, our new number 9, and at the same time, it's just like the 14 likes, guys. We're a bit sensational here. We should be up at like 50 to 100 already. You know what I mean? I got the keys to the kingdom today from Mick. I'm by myself again. Come on, guys. Do some likes for me, please, VAR room. I'm not charging you guys anything. It would just be nice to get some likes today, And let me just go along. Oh, this is my buddy here. What's up, Leonard? Good to see you, man. Nice to get in here in the room. And let me just continue. So as I was saying, Rasmus backs Rashford to turn his form around this season, and he enjoys playing with him. And he says we should, as fans, should also back on number 10. And I'm gonna move along now, and it's gonna get better right now. And like I was saying, it could be a turnaround. Casemiro being injured is not all that bad right now because this young lad is fit and he's ready. He was withheld from playing in the game versus Barnsley, which United won behind closed doors 3-0, and the youngster has been just slowed down so he could get a few more days in training before he gets into competitive action. So we are not sure if he might be moved to the bench for the game against Sheffield because the aim was to have him ready for Copenhagen. And now we see that he is ready and Casemiro is possibly going to be injured. Would we see Ten Hag deploy his midfield gem? Because as we know, when he was injured against Real Madrid, Ten Hag is really very disappointed by this. So let's just take in some of the news that's going around in the ether, and it's not really a fact or it's just speculation, but it's speculation with good sources who are close to the club, close to the player, and close to Eric Ten Hag. And the GOAT, I have to talk about the ex-Manchester United star. He did really well last night, and I'm only drawing reference to this because our Portuguese Magnifico Bruno had a worldy last night of a performance. He bended like Beckham straight to Ronaldo for a goal. He had another assist. The guy was on fire last night for Portugal, and everyone seems to forget that when Bruno is in the 10, he's the most creative player we have. So he might be in a poor run of form, but I urge fans to remember that he's been deployed on the right, where we all know as fans it's possibly the craziest thing to do to Bruno and to fans because he makes no sense there. You know, he does not really turn up in games off the right. So we need to get this guy in form and playing through the middle. And to do that, we need to have Anthony back in the team. Yes, RJ, he's our boy, the Brazilian wonder, and he will be doing bits this season. You know, and I think a lot of his poor form could have attributed to his mental health, dealing with the situation that was going on and not knowing what's going on, what's going to be the outcome. But since things are looking more and more positive right now, I think that we might see a turn in his form, might even see some goals. So let's hope for the team to do better. Yes, RJ, I'm telling you, I watched the game last night while a lot of people watching Stockport play. What's that team? Glasgow? I don't know, but it was a terrible game to watch, that England game yesterday. It was just depressing, to say the least. Bruno loves his holiday international break. Yes, Stephanie Griffith. I think Bruno just loves to play football. The guy is just insane. He played over 9,000 minutes, more than any other footballer last season. It's crazy. It's crazy. Hey, DJ Superfly guy, what's up with you, my guy? You know, and now we're going to get to the meat of the issues and our problems at the club. And while I will not blame 100% of the blame on these guys for the reason the club is not performing well, I will blame 98% on them because they are bad owners. They don't invest well in the club. They don't hire the best people in positions to make sure our club is doing right. We need a proper footballing director, you know, and these guys just hire bankers because they just want to turn a profit. It's insane. It's insane having to deal with this, you know? And fans be like, oh, it's the Glazers, it's the Glazers. Yes, it's the Glazers, but you want to know something? People have been asking, where are the standards of our club? Where are the standards of our club? The Glazers, the owners set the standards of our club. But at the same time, if you think about the standards, right? Maybe they haven't been putting best in class in the back of the room. But our players in the world get best in class salaries. I mean, Marcus Rashford's salary could pay the entire Burnley team for the entire year after 1 month. So I say to you guys, if these players are getting the highest standard of elite echelon salaries, which go to their banks on time, and they also get performance bonuses for scoring goals, assists, and clean sheets, where is their motivation, their self-pride? Why are these players not being examined further for why they themselves are not keeping up their end of the agreement for the contracts they have signed, not just with the club, but for the fan support who cheer them on to the tune of 70,000 every Saturday and midweek when we have games, or Sunday. You know what I mean? Guys like Kenny Fan TV, big up my bro. He tunes in at 4 a.m. in the morning all the way from Australia just to watch these guys play football. And then we're out here blaming the manager. We're rightfully blaming the owners, to be fair, but we're blaming the manager for players who sometimes to me seems like they don't really care. They just get the bag. You know what I mean? And it's hard to say that because I don't want to make these players to be bad guys, but at the same time, they're getting best in class salaries, best in class bonuses weekly. And then they're on the pitch walking around like they can't be asked. Or the manager criticizes them and they're like, oh, I'm too big for this. Maybe we're paying these players too much. maybe we should pay them salaries equivalent to the ownership that they have. You know what I mean? Idiot. We should pay them salaries that aren't worth best in class players because some of them don't show that they are best in class. But I'll not dwell too much on this, and stick with the Glazers because we need to get them out of the club. Glazers out all day long, every day, guys. And yesterday I mentioned there are some young players that are still being scouted and looked at, and scouts are ramping up some approaches. And it's very possible that Ten Hag may receive a 90 million purse for this transfer window, and Jadon Sancho might be leaving to Juventus. And all I would like to reiterate to fans is that it's very important that we back our manager, we back our club, and we back our players to some extent because if there's a mental health issue, they need to have the support of the fans, knowing that the fans are behind them. So let's eliminate all the issues and the problems that we could help eliminate and try to get to the root cause of why these players aren't performing, right? Because there's a whole host of reasons. Some could be because of the manager, because his managing style, because of the owners, because of poor decisions by referees, because of fans abusing some players. It's a lot of different things. So while I'm always focused on the facts that this is a meritocracy where they themselves chased a dream of competing with the very best, right, in a very high competitive professional sport. They made a decision to do this. No one forced them into being a superstar or being a footballer. You know what I mean? And maybe some of them saw this as their only dream or the only way they can get out of situations that they were in or whatever. But at the end of the day, when you make a decision as a human being, you need to own that decision. You know what I mean? And if it means we need to turn to youth players and get rid of some of these old players in order to get that sense of determination and fearlessness back into the team, then United fans have to be prepared to win, lose, or draw for real. You know what I mean? And up and down, not always winning, maybe not competing for a title this season, but scraping fourth place. And I know that's not United standards, but have we been carrying United standards for the last 5 years, my people? You know what I mean? Like, we need to be focused. We can't just assume and say, oh, we're United. Yeah, we are. But that's our history, guys. And it's really sad to say this, and it hurts just even saying this right now. But at the end of the day, it's like, I want our club to be better. I want us to win trophies. I don't want to ever see Manchester United watch Manchester City win a treble or a UCL or a Premier League again. I don't want to see those things. I don't even want to see Arsenal win a Premier League. Their fans chat too much shit. You know what I mean? So, like, we need to support this team, support this coach. Either we believe in this project, believe in the system, believe in what the manager is cooking, or we just sell ourselves short and say, you know what? When Qatar comes, if they come, they're gonna fix everything. But I don't believe it's like that. I feel like we could get our team and support them and support this manager. We could still do some bits and then get Qatar, and Qatar take us to the next level. So Glazer's out, guys. Glazer's out. That's all I could say. I have to take that one from from my boy Kenny Fan TV. He's always be saying Glazer's out, man. Glazer's out. It's performance based. That's what I'm saying, guys. It's like, these we have to take a look at all of these things because it's not about always someone else's fault. Sometimes everyone has to look into the mirror and hold their responsibilities. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, this is the only message fans should be streaming every single day. This is the only thing should be going viral. Glazers out. You know what I mean? Green and gold until the club is sold, because these guys, we may have won some titles because of the framework they met, but they've never improved anything. Even Charlie Savage was, taking a piss out of United, saying Reading has a better sporting facility or on par with us. That's crazy. Reading. No offense to Reading, but like, we're Manchester United, guys. How could they have facilities on par with ours? We're like the biggest club in England, despite what anyone says. If you close your eyes as an international and you think about football in England, the first thing comes to mind is Manchester United, guys. You know what I mean? And I'm about this time where I'm a fan that I could admit and put my hands up. I don't like certain players and I may not have fancied certain players, but you know what I like the most? When these guys prove me wrong and make me eat my words, because then it's always better for my club. And some of the guys in the VR room know I'm not a fan of Hannibal, but the guy's playing well. I love to see that. Prove me wrong. Prove the fans wrong. Do like a McTominay. You know what I mean? Like what Stephanie Gripper is saying. Scrap man of the match and goal bonuses. Just have a team win bonus. Because McTominay came on and in 8 minutes scored 2 goals. Marcus Rashford on the bench looking on like, it's crazy. It's crazy. You know what I mean? Anthony Martial firing shots out again because he's now getting back to fitness. Oh, he doesn't want to be second striker backup. Bro, when we needed you, we couldn't depend on you. What's going on here? What are we doing, guys? You know what I mean? Like all these content creators out here saying people making excuses for Ten Hag, this and that and the other, and then they go out and they make these points and say, well, you know, Varane, Martinez injured, Wan Bissaka is injured. When we get them back, Dallo could swap to the left, and we'll have a strong defense again. Are they crazy? Didn't they just say we're making excuses for Ten Hag? Didn't they just say we should be winning games with the players that we have available? But no one wants them to start. But we should be winning games with them. You know, it's like it's crazy. It's crazy. These things are mad. I'm trying to understand what's going on with some of these content creators right now. It's like they just want to sell clicks. You know what I mean? It's true that we come out here and we all report on bits of news that we think might be in favor for for what we are trying to, explain to you guys from our points of view. But at the end of the day, you have to have it from both sides. You have to be willing to say, okay, this is a positive and this is a negative. You know what I mean? Whether you like it or not just because you have an opinion means you can't say, well, oh, I could be wrong. We could all be wrong. You know what I mean? In two ways, I would say it's right to criticize him and also wrong to criticize him, because at the end of the day, guys, like, like if you look at it seriously and say this, right? Could he do things better? I'm sure he can. You know, does he have the tools to do things better? I'm not so sure about that. You know what I mean? I'm like look at it like this, right? We don't have our starting defense. And our team last season, everything we achieved was built on a defense. We don't have that this season. So he should have he should find a way. I expect him to find a way to turn things around, but at the same time, I'm being realistic and saying like we have 16 players injured. Some of them would arguably help us win some of the games that we lost. You know what I mean? And he's actually trying to play a style of football this season that's based on the wings and overlaps and overloads through spaces and stuff like that. So at the same time, we might not be seeing the style of play every single game, but he has an ideology that he's trying to aim for, and this season he's trying to implement that. Of course, we're going to have problems. Of course, we're going to lose games because there's always going to be a teething process, you know? And maybe he overachieved last season and gave us too much hope for this season. But then, you still need to look at the fact that he wanted Kim Min Jae, didn't get him. He wanted Xavi Simons. They gave him Mason Mount. And then they said 4 years ago he was obsessed. That was 4 years ago, guys. So yes, you should criticize Ten Hag, but at the same time, could you really blame him for every single problem? Like at the end of the day, we don't have remote controls and we can't control the minds of the players on the field. So no matter how much you tell them in training, listen, you need to go use the overlap. If you're not getting through with the inside, you take it to the outside. When he gets on the field, could you really, tell him to do that? You have to be telling him, screaming at him for like 50, 90 minutes for the game. Yo, use the outside. Use the outside. Is he going to listen? You know? So at the end of the day, like we could criticize Ten Hag. We have to criticize players as well. And we have to criticize the ownership and the management of the club. We have to criticize everything. There's no there's no one person at fault here. We could also criticize fans because recently, it's like Manchester United fans, we're just like we must win everything. You know, we went from having one of the worst United teams being in hell in season 21-22. We were in hell that season. I was there to watch that. You know, first full seasons in Europe, and I had a season ticket. So I was having the time of my life, and I had to sit through the team downing tools and only Ronaldo showing up by himself, maybe with Bruno sometimes, maybe with Scotty sometimes, but at the same time, I had to watch that. You all had to watch that. We all believed and agreed with Ralph Ragnick when he said we need open heart surgery. 12 players, starting players, need to go. That was just 21-22, guys. So Ten Hag came, did bits, 22-23. We ended up third, 2 cup finals, won a trophy. Yeah, people might say it's a Mickey Mouse Cup, but the Carabao Cup, we still won it. Played 65 games. So what? We supposed to what? Get Harry Kane and challenge for the title next season, right, guys? With the same players from 2020, 21-22. Majority same players from 21-22. Come on, let's make sense about this. Like, I'm not trying to defend Ten Hag 100%, but at the same time, we all said this as fans together in forums. We all had the same opinion. Like, we need open heart surgery. Have we actually had open heart surgery? Can we all say and admit we Ten Hag was able to do open heart surgery on the squad? No. He was able to get some of his players. The club bought some of their players. We was able to get rid of some players. We didn't do a holistically great job this summer or the last summer. People focus on Anthony cost 90 million. He could have been 50 million in May. He could have been 45 in June. What are we doing here? We're gonna say, well, okay, well, that happened. He came here and he's still not delivered. But yo, guys, Marcus Rashford had 8 years before he came in and scored 30 goals in a season. And we loved him for it last season. If someone says to you, oh, Marcus Rashford didn't do so well for the seventh season before, you're going to say, but he's an academy graduate. He's going to improve. He's still young. He's 26. You know what I mean? He could still get better. Of course. So why can't Anthony improve and get better? Why can't Anthony improve and get better? He's been here for one season, and everyone, bro, the hate he got for last season is real. And he's only been here a year. What has he got? Has the fans really given Anthony a chance to 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 have his ups and downs and find his way in the team? No. Because why? Jadon Sancho has a problem with him. Jadon Sancho isn't starting. He's in playing well. But he was here the season before. He wasn't played by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He wasn't, but he was played by Ralph Ragnick. He did okay, but his form is not great. We can't just sit out here and be like, oh, these players are shit. These players are shit. We could, but we're stuck with them. Like, we can't get rid of them in the window. Then we have to support them during the season and hope they do well. We can't abuse them. At the end of the day, they have feelings, and at the same time, yeah, I might say mental health. We can't always let them blame the problems on mental health, but at the same time, we have to also look at the fact that we could our support boost these guys, boost the team and helps give a good atmosphere for them to perform well. And at any other club or a mid-table club, players don't have these types of pressures. Look at Matoma at Brighton. Dude drops a stinker, and everyone still wants to spend 90 M's to get him into their club next season. You know what I mean? So you guys need to look at it like from two sides of the coin sometimes. Like, players you have to look at it more from a perspective where a player is consistently not performing well, and not just not performing well for 5-6 games. You know what I mean? It's like, it's different, because some people might argue this person had 3 seasons in of football that another player had 7 seasons to even compare to it. It's different. Football is like, we need characters back in the dressing room. We need players with mentality. We need players who are hungry, who want to win, who are willing to give their all and run until they have no energy left. You know what I mean? Oh, good morning, Neil. It's actually afternoon, man. I'm usually the guy always saying morning. Hope you're having a nice day, though. And I look at the performances of the squad recently, and I'm like, some guys perform well, some guys not performing well. But then everyone has to share the blame because it's a team sport, you know? So we have to look at it and really analyze it and really have some patience, because Ten Hag has been here a year, really. You know, he's coached really for 1 season. Arteta, Pep, Klopp, everyone called these guys elite, but they all took an average of 3 seasons before they could win anything substantial, or let alone finish in the top four. So if I'm gonna say that Ten Hag is not elite in his first season with a worse team, and this is go by the judgment of fans and pundits around, who all pegged Manchester United to finish 10th or 12th or 9th last season. We finished third, and we played in 2 cup finals, and we won one. What happened? And Arsenal, they led the league for 200 and what, 32 days or 52 days or something like that, and they got knocked out of all their cup competitions early, and they still bottled the league. And that was Arteta's 4th year. I mean, some fans are Arteta out, but at the same time, they're all thinking that they got the best team, young team in the world. They're gonna win the UCL right now. Guys, come on. Are we Arsenal fans or are we Manchester United fans? You know, we gotta take the punches and roll with it a little bit, you know, because at the same time, it was a really long, tough season last season. The lads did well. I'd say Ten Hag overachieved, and if you agree with me, then smash a like. And if you're new in here, subscribe. And this season, we all want to see football. We all want to see football, you know? So we're going to win games. We're going to lose games. We're probably going to win games we shouldn't have won, and we're probably going to lose games we shouldn't have lost. But at the same time, change is at the club, and it's upon us. So we could only go forward with it, guys. You know what I mean? So everyone wants to see us lose. Do we want to see us lose as well? Got to support this team, guys. Got to support this manager, because we already said we wanted him. Fans wanted Eric Ten Hag. We have to remember that as fans, we wanted Ten Hag. We, not the media, not the board, not anyone, not ex-players. We wanted Eric Ten Hag. How could we throw him away already? He delivered last season. You know what I mean? I back in him to deliver this season as well. And I hope you all are with me on this. And maybe you all need to see us go on a winning run. I'm saying, guys, we should look forward to going on a bookie run. It happens every season. Like, who doesn't know Man United and going into Christmas? Who doesn't know the story, the fable of Manchester United going into Christmas? What happens every time going into Christmas with Manchester United? Every Christmas, it was the same last year. You know what I mean? So have some faith. Like, share, and subscribe. Have a great Saturday, and I hope to see you guys later. And I'll let Bella take the stream out for me. And I hope you guys have a lovely weekend. Manchester United.
I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up by smashing that like button. Subscribe if you have not done so yet. If you want to take it to the next level, you can always show your appreciation to sponsor our channel by clicking below the video title, where you will see the heart icon with the text saying, "Thanks." Or you could buy me a cheeky little coffee by scanning this barcode or visit this link to buy me a virtual coffee. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this content. Remember, glory, glory, Man United. Glazers out. It is green and gold until we are announced and sold. That was all from me. I wish you a good day and a great match experience, and I shall see you in the next video. Goodbye.
Thank you so much for stopping by and watching MUFC Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.